You're live. Good to go.
Okay. Can you hear me? People are nodding. Okay, good. Okay, so it's February 13th, 2025. The time is now 6:33 p.m. And this is a meeting of the Facilities Committee, and it is now called to order. And we'll start with introductions. I'm David Warner.
Chris Allen.
Luke Johnson.
On the screen, Dennis.
Dennis Pugliese, Director of Facilities.
Brett.
Fred Seba from BBS.
Francis. Can't hear you.
You're muted, Francis.
Let's try this again. Francis Melito, construction manager with 7 engineers.
Good. Elizabeth.
Elizabeth Sindona, Assistant to Director of Facility.
Carol.
Carol Allen, community member.
Lisa.
Lisa Raymond, Assistant Superintendent for Business.
Gabriella.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Gabriella Barahona, mom of 3 boys in the district.
Sarah.
Hi, Sarah Lazari, parent of 2.
Good. Anybody I missed? All right. Yeah, hell, the gang's all here. So first item on the agenda, bring up the agenda.
1 second. Dr. Iverson.
Dr. Iverson.
Dr. Iverson, join if you want to.
Linda. You want to introduce yourself?
Oh, there, I couldn't unmute. Hello, good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Iverson, Superintendent, East Greenburgh Central School District. Thank you.
Very good. Okay.
Can you mute?
Want me to mute?
For the ones that are muted, can you?
Yes, sure.
Camera.
Missing one.
Okay, we're good. So, we have one more person just joined us.
Hi, everybody. It's Jessica Mulders. How are you?
Okay. So, the ongoing saga of the water main recommendation. We approved funding for lines to improve water flow from the West Hartsdale Avenue side of the Woodlands campus to the ECP main, the bus garage, and Woodlands, front and back. Okay. At the 12/11/24 Finance Committee meeting, it was reported that $1.6 million in American Rescue Plan funds from the ventilation project had been reimbursed by the federal government and deposited in the capital fund portion of the general fund. This amount, it was implied, would be available for future projects. Our existing capital reserves at that time, in the capital reserve fund unencumbered were $451,000 and the repair reserve $792,000. At our last facilities committee meeting, we considered 2 options for using a portion of the money to complete our Woodlands water main project. And option 1 was to complete the distance to the mansion. So we had a red line and a blue line, and the sum of those was about $600,000, and that was option 1. That was a cheap option. And option 2 was to complete that line to the mansion and connect us over to the water source on the Pinewood Avenue side. And that was the expensive option. That was $1.4 million, leaving us with $200,000 to kick into the reserve fund. So we discussed it at great depth and in detail, and came out with finally voted and recommended that we do the more expensive option, that is do the complete project. And then then I was to take that recommendation to the Board of Education, which I did, and we're now, on page 2. So at the 121 Board of Education meeting, both options were presented to the board along with the Facilities Committee recommendation, and the board voted 4-3 in favor of option 2, the expensive option. There was a request for an administrative recommendation regarding the project. On Friday, 1/31, the administration recommended option 1, the cheaper of the 2 options. At the 2-4 okay. At the 2-4 board work session the following Tuesday, which would be sitting there now with a vote, a split vote, kind of leaning in one direction, and a recommendation from the administration to go in the opposite direction. At the 2-4 vote of the board work session the following Tuesday, the administration presented a rollover budget for 25-26, which requires a 5.11% property tax increase. Okay, that's for this district that's very expensive. Okay, the estimate does not include any items from the superintendent's administrative wish list. It doesn't include any energy performance savings that we've gotten from having our lights disinstalled. It has only a vague approximation of what the insurance increase will be. It used the capital interfund transfer from last time instead of having an actual number. We don't know sales tax and interest income. So there's more to happen, and the administration will present a draft budget at the 225 Board of Education meeting that will have we'll have a better idea of where we stand. And I'm sitting here if we're that high and haven't found a way of countering it with new income sources, I'm kind of like teetering as to whether I should switch to the cheap option and burn the capital improvement money to not lay off teachers. Okay, because I've been through layoffs and austerity budgets and it's bad news. So that's where I'm sitting. So now we were going to have go out to bid again, and we were going to go out to bid with whatever money we've assigned, and the board recommendation, while it's in favor of the expensive option, it didn't have teeth. We didn't have a formal resolution in terms of how much money we would allocate. So the question is, can we go forward with a version of the project that allows for us to come in later, or do we have to wait to bid, or should we just go out with what we've got? And so I'm looking for expert opinions on this. Fred Seba, do you have an opinion?
I think we can bid it. Technically, once the bids come back in, our specs allow us 45 days before those bids technically expire. And we can change that. We can make that 60 days. So we can build in a little bit of a time cushion into the project so that we can bid it, and it would give the district a little bit of time to determine which way we're going to go. So we'd have a base bid for the lower dollar amount, and then we'd have add alternates for the other work. And then we'd ask our contractors to hold their pricing for maybe 60 days while the district makes a decision as to which direction they want to go in.
Lisa, what do you think? 60 days, is it good enough?
Yes, I think 60 is better than 45.
Okay, good. So we have, that's basically 2 months. Yeah, it'll work. Okay, very good. Does anybody have any questions? All right.
I have a question, Mr. Warner.
Yes.
What's the rush? Why can't we wait till the budget process is finished?
You mean, don't go out to bid till the budget process is finished?
That's right, because that's when we'll understand what our financial situation is. Why waste time doing the bidding process if we are going to find out 2 or 3 months down the line that we can't afford to do the project at this time?
Because we can afford to do some portion of the project, we just don't know how much.
If we are looking at a 5% tax levy increase, I would say we can't afford to do anything major at this point, because we're not going to be able to get a 5% tax levy increase past the voters of the district. So we're going to need to figure out how we're going to meet our basic needs.
In which case, we would, well, worst possible case, we would end up with, we have $800,000 that was originally slated for the project. We have the money that was voted by the public to take care of a larger portion of the project. And then we have a total of $1.6 million in reimbursement. So even if you took back the 1.6 million, you'd still get some fire protection.
As I said, what is the rush?
Well, I guess more time passes and you don't have working fire hydrants.
And how many years have we not had the working fire hydrants that 2 or 3 months are going to make a difference?
15 or so or thereabouts. All right, we're not sure. We know when we tested. Go ahead.
I was just gonna, just to outline what the I'm sorry, I had to drive people to the airport at like 2 in the morning. It was very weird. The suggestion is to go to bid for the 2 segments that would get fire protection to the mansion. Have them do alternate bids for the remaining section.
Correct.
Have them hold that price for 60 days. At that point, the board, which would take us to mid-April, 2 weeks before the official budget hearing, roughly. At that point, the board would have a better idea of where we are budget-wise. We'd also have the bid information. At that point, we're not obligated to accept any of the bids. And if we do accept a bid, we're not obligated to do the full-blown project.
Mm-hmm.
And even at that point, we haven't signed the contract for the bid. Correct? So there are various
Points that
there are
things can still be
there are
stopped.
various exit points.
Right.
Meanwhile, we're getting all the information, and if things move forward, we're not delaying ourselves. Is that accurate?
That's pretty much, yeah.
If it's not accurate, Ms. Raymond, I'm sure you'll jump in, and David and I are confirming among ourselves, but so just to,
Yeah.
I don't know if that helps clarify for anyone.
Okay.
I think we could extend or ask the contractors to hold the bids for even a little bit longer period of time if that made a difference to the district. I will say typically when we bid projects earlier in the spring rather than later in the spring, we tend to get a little bit better pricing because as the contractors get busy for the summer, their pricing tends to go up. So it might make sense to bid it earlier and just hold those numbers. And if the money doesn't come through or you change your mind, you can always throw all the bids out and do nothing if that's the choice, or you can award the lower base bid and not award any of the alternates. So it might just make sense from a little bit better cost standpoint that we bid it earlier rather than later.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? Okay, moving on. Project status. Could you bring up the BBS project status report? And that's Mike and Francis and a little bit of Dennis. Well, I guess it's Fred Seba.
Yes.
Fred, take us to the project list.
Okay, so Woodlands Middle School, the vestibule project over there. We did have a revised takeover agreement because the second contractor that the surety company brought in disappeared as well. So we now have a third contractor as part of the project. We did request a new project schedule, which we have not received yet. We did receive the insurance certificates from that contractor that's under review currently. And so basically the subcontracts are issued by the surety company to this contractor on February 10th. So those are sent to district council for review as well. So right now we're kind of in a holding pattern till we get the information back and the final review from the attorneys.
Sorry, you're waiting to hear from Jaspin?
The legal firm.
Is it Jaspin or is it a different legal firm? I'm asking.
It's between two. It's between Chris Vatter from Jaspin and the surety. They're
Oh.
going back and forth with the agreement and wording and writing.
And do you know anything that Fred doesn't know in terms of detail, in terms of when will?
Nope, that's exact. I do believe that they're very close. I get the updates all the time when it goes back and forth between the two, and I did get an update yesterday that they are working on the final wording.
Okay. Go ahead.
Next is the water main project, which we just discussed. Woodlands Middle School, High School tennis courts. Those have been bid and awarded, and we're going to be setting up a kickoff meeting with the contractors in March or April to get together, discuss the project, discuss the phasing of the project, the staging of the project, where they're going to have equipment, all of those different types of things. So I don't know if Savin has any kind of an update on that.
I'm good. Excuse me, Fred. I'm going to be scheduling those meetings next week. I'm just trying to get through the Woodlands roof project right now to get that started and get it off the ground. Those contractors, I mean, it's the same contractor for the tennis courts and the running track. They've already started putting their submittals in, so we're a bit ahead of the game at that point with that contractor. Same thing goes for, excuse me, the Bailey Roof. We've awarded that contract. I already had a site meeting with that contractor, and they're going to be submitting their submittals pretty soon and an overall schedule for that project. Woodlands Roof, we're actually getting ready to gear up for tomorrow's start there, and all their submittals have been in and approved already.
So I know that the board approved a contract at a very brief meeting.
And I'd like to thank the board for doing that to get this job off the ground.
Yes, I did. Thank you, Tracy, for a world record time of getting that through. Is there an asbestos removal phase to this roofing project?
There is, and that's scheduled to start on Monday while no one's in the building. And the actual abatement process is only 1 day, maybe 2 days, it looks like.
Okay, so by the time the kids get back from vacation, it'll be done.
100% complete.
Great. Okay. Go ahead, Fred.
Okay, so Francis basically just covered
Hey,
running
question.
track, the tennis courts
Brad, 1 second.
replacement, and the partial window replacement at Highview is in the same situation.
Right, 1 second.
I'm sorry, I didn't address the Highview. Highview, again, contract is awarded. The contractor has submitted the shop drawings for the windows. Right now, they're being reviewed by BBS. They are going to be delivering physical samples to Dennis any day. I think there will probably be 1 day next week. It's glass and metal. And again, that project is on schedule at this point.
Okay, so you did partial roof, Highview roof. Okay, got it,
Wait.
got it.
Hold on.
Another?
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, just when going back to the tennis courts and the track, you said the kickoff meeting will be in March and April. What does that mean? I.e., is the design already been done in consulting with the building personnel? I don't know what kickoff meeting means.
kickoff meeting is where we go through the rules and regulations of the job, the schedule of the job. We sit down with the principal and the athletic director and anybody else who's involved, Dennis. It's just really to go through the parameters of the job before we actually break ground on anything.
Right.
So the design is all done. It has been done in coordination with the school personnel. It's been sent to the state education department. It's been approved and it's been bid. So basically, we now have contractors on board, and that's what Francis is setting up the meeting with, to meet with the contractors and the school staff just to figure out the timing of the project.
I've been doing behind the scenes meetings with these contractors already. We just haven't done it with the school. We did it for the Woodlands roof project already. That's been completed. And again, this week and the past weeks, I've been just trying to get Woodlands roof organized and ready to go because we're actually starting this weekend.
So, wait, I just finished my question. So the design, all that was sent, put up there, blah, 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 materials are being ordered. So if I were to go into the contracts again, which I haven't done in a while, is that where I would see the drawings, the final drawings? For what the configuration of both the track and the tennis court would be and the material that's going down? Or that's not happening? I can't remember. Sorry, guys, I'm extremely tired.
But the drawings are complete for the design.
There are drawings, Mr. Siva, because I need to see the drawings. I don't know why we're not able to pull them up quickly. I think it's something, has the principal been involved in the drawings and seen them? I understand you've been meeting with the contractors. That's great, but what about the people here that are gonna actually use the tennis courts and stuff? I'm a little confused by that. I thought, I don't attend every meeting, but I feel like in one of them, I was really adamant that the high school administration be involved in every step of the way of this.
They have been, we have involved the athletic director, the tennis coach, and the track coach. So they've all been involved in the design. They have all looked at the design and approved the design. That was all done prior to it even be sent to the state education department.
Mr. Pugliese, have you been in all of these meetings?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, so what we need to do is to show you the drawings. Right.
But not just me, really, this committee has been big on it. There's been parents that have been pushing for the tennis courts, the track. I mean, I think they should be really getting updates about it.
Do you want them to be posted on the website?
I think it'd be awesome to be on the website and let people know that this is happening, it's happening now.
I think that would help when so much, especially in the winter, is not publicly seen.
Yeah.
Right.
Like people are like, I voted last year, what's going on? It could be, not that you need everyone's last minute opinions on anything. But
Right.
just, I think, to say the progress of it, it's a great way to, as we're going into budget season and people are wondering about where money's going.
Yep.
This is where it's going.
Okay.
I think it's.
And also,
Can we have those posted?
I just wanted to say, in lieu of what happened with the vestibule, I think the public is a bit little leery about things. And I think any type of transparency with all the tennis court, everything, if you're going to be under more scrutiny now. So I agree with what Tracy's saying. The more we put out there, and even for us to see, you know, the more people who see this, the better it is. So, okay.
Okay, well, the drawings of the tennis courts and the track are actually interesting to look at. The drawings of the roof are less interesting. Do you feel like we ought to post those as well? Okay, go ahead.
If I may, sorry, on the facilities website, we do have drawings of the proposed track renovations. There's two versions. I just don't know what the final version was. I can't remember. So this would be a good place to put it, maybe a separate section.
Yes.
I'm making a proposal. Maybe a separate section of ongoing projects or something like that.
No,
So
this part becomes the PR piece, and it needs to be the tennis courts, the track, yes, the roof. We can mention the roof, have people go to the facilities tab, but this could be a PR piece to show where the money's going.
You mean like like an ad, like in the place where we show our children in the main topic, you want like something to rotate in, it shows a picture of the tennis courts, or?
Do you want me to create the whole thing for you? I just think it should be, I mean, I didn't know, I think it's great that we're at this point, but I think if we, I wanna say publicize, but no, it doesn't need to be like a alert or anything like that, but
Okay.
a little bit more, I guess, transparent. I hate to overuse that word.
Okay. Fair enough. PR. All right, or are we, district energy wide performance,
Before you move from the
Yes.
tennis courts, it says here Dennis Pugliese and Tom Tokarski submitted the grant application. You did that, Mr. Pugliese?
We looked into, doing the grant, but you really have to, wait until you're almost done, and there's a contingency in there if you, add a pickleball court or certain lines that the, USTA, the United States Tennis Association, they're very picky, and you're not gonna get, money if, we do the, pickleball court. But, at the time we, looked into the information, we have to, wait until all the plans are submitted, and then they come out and they finalize the thing. Mr. Tokarski was working with them, yes.
Well, thank you for looking into that.
wait, I think Gabriella was. Gabriella,
Hi, just to add to that, there, I have to go back to the information, but when I was just going through Instagram, there was a post from the USTA about, I don't know if it's an expansion of these grants that started last year or if it's something new. I don't know when their cutoff is with grant money, but it's, relevant to us. I don't know the details, but I can certainly, when I find it, pass it along to see if it's something that can help.
okay. And provide to Dennis. Okay, good.
District-wide energy performance contract.
Wait,
Sorry, let's just finish beating the horse. I've mentioned before, and again, I apologize, my memory right now is a little tired. I've mentioned before, I heard pickleball mentioned. I'm just gonna put that to the side for oh my God, I can't speak for the moment.
Yeah.
More important to one person at least is consideration of tennis court facilities for special needs players. I don't know if they have different linings for wheelchair tennis or anything like that, but I mentioned that maybe only once before, but if we had to choose between pickleball lines and special needs lines, I personally, speaking for one person, would advocate for that. I don't know if they need different surfaces or not, but if it's able to be done on the same surface, that's it. I just had to say it again.
And you're not speaking for one person, we speak for all of the children in our district.
And I'm speaking for the board, because we haven't really discussed it as a
many
board.
children who would benefit from that, so, is that a different type of drawing, or is it just lines? What?
Honestly, I'm not 100% sure. I would have to check with our landscape architects who designed the tennis courts to find out if there are special lines for special needs players. I'm not really sure. I will have to find that information out and send that information back to you tomorrow.
Okay, I don't know if Dr. I is on the call. If we have an adaptive PE person, they would know, wouldn't they?
I don't know.
Okay.
yeah, I don't know if the
That might
net,
be
net
easier.
moves or, yeah.
I don't know. Back in the day, I was familiar with a league that played on regular old surfaces, but I don't know if now they're different. Because I know the park over at Ridge Road has special surfaces for baseball and things like that. I don't know if, I'm just talking about what could be done within the plans that we're currently gonna. So sorry, I'm so sorry. What could be done within the existing plans, if it's easy fixes like net height, lines, things like that. If it's a whole different surface, And I don't know how many, I know we had 3 with an option for 4, I'm not sure, I just throwing it out there.
Okay, the USDA thing.
Right.
We're kind of waiting on it because they will
Yeah, that's.
do small things for an existing tennis court.
Correct.
But our tennis courts are, so we gotta wait
And I
till the
believe-
reconstruction project is almost done.
Right.
And then pull them in.
Because I do believe having looked into them multiple times, I believe one of their grants have to do with that kind of accessibility.
Well, I'm
But-
just happy Mr. Pugliese is working to get us more money, so thank you, appreciate it. What about Ms. Barahona?
Do you have what?
Oh, did
She already went. Yeah,
Sorry, I raised my hand again. If it's okay with the committee, I can throw this question out to the place where my kids take lessons and see what they say. If there is a different surface or something is done to the hard court surface that makes it usable for kids with special needs and not special needs.
And what is the place your kids take lessons?
They take lessons at the New Rochelle Tennis Center.
Special Olympics that we work with would probably have that information.
Yep, I was just looking online at wheelchair tennis courts.
Yeah.
Tennis courts are the same size courts and they use the same rules. I was just looking online, that's what it said. Standard tennis court sizes. Same
Thank you,
rules.
Mr. Pugliese.
So
Appreciate it.
then, I assume the gates are wide enough for a standard wheelchair to get in?
Yes,
All right.
not only are the gates lined up, we also have an ADA path out to the tennis courts so that it is ADA accessible. I agree with Dennis. I'm pretty sure that the surface stays exactly the same because it is a hard surface that you would be able to maneuver a wheelchair around on. I'm just not 100% sure about the line work, but I will double check that tomorrow and let you know.
Thank you.
Good. Okay, district-wide energy performance contract?
The energy performance contract started last July. It's about 70% complete at this point. It says the structure for the new carport to be complete by the end of the year. That means the end of last year, and it was complete. The solar panels, the carport has been erected or starting to be erected. So we're on schedule to complete the energy performance contract the third quarter of 2025. So we're right on schedule.
Good.
Roof replacement at Bailey, I think Francis mentioned that before.
Know anything about the gas lines and when they're installed where? I know we've got Highview, we were supposed to get that hooked up. Well,
And I have a question.
and
Yes.
and there's Woodlands and there's Leop Jackson.
Yes, so LF Jackson is scheduled to start next week. Actually, during the week. It's anticipated to be substantially completed by Monday the 24th, the LF Jackson gas pipe trenching. And Woodlands High School gas line, they started fusing the pipe, prefabbing it along the roadway. They did as much as they can, and after they finish LF Jackson, weather permitting, then they're going to start down Pac Capone Road.
Okay, what's the route for Leop Jackson?
The route is through from the boiler room. It's going to go across the parking lot, through the little paper road, in between the two houses, which I believe are numbers 24 and 26 on the other road, and that's where it's going to hook up right on the end of that paper road.
Great. Any other questions?
Yes. I don't have the drive open to see if it's in one of the pictures, but it's come up in discussion. When we've seen the pictures of the gas lines going into the buildings, I think we might have even asked this at the last meeting. Is there any sort of protection or cage that can go around the pipe so that in some areas it's near, I'm thinking Highview right now, it's near like recess, and so the balls and all that don't get caught in there and kids aren't near those valves. I know here at the high school, I think there are some places where you could argue it might increase scalability. without saying more, Mr. Pigley, so you're nodding like you know what I'm talking about. Is there anything you could address on that?
There hasn't been any progress yet, but I did bring up the concerns that you know, I was worried about students climbing up the side of the building. You watched the videos. We were talking about possibly putting a fence up around the first 10 feet or so.
Okay, so you're looking at options, but
Yes.
okay, great.
Okay. Other questions on the energy performance contract? Okay, good. Let's see, we did the partial roof replacement, RJ Bailey. Okay, science labs. Fred.
Okay, so RG Bailey, I think Francis talked about that before. Again, that's on the same path. They are setting up meetings or have set up kickoff meetings. So the contractors are in process of submitting insurance bonding cuts, things like that. So we're in good shape on that one. The science lab, that is the gas service reconstruction and the eyewash station. So that we are planning to do the work this summer. So we just have to coordinate with the district as far as bid dates and when your, when your board meetings are, so that we can get the award done this spring, earlier rather than better. And probably be done around the same time as the water main project in March. That's what we were thinking, although it doesn't have to be. One can go in front of the other one.
You need our board meeting dates for what?
We'll need to approve the bid.
So.
Just for the award on
Then
the project.
we have dates through June, so we can send you all the dates.
That'll be fun.
Okay,
You can look at the calendar.
well, he's.
Yeah, we'll look at the school calendar and coordinate that.
I'll send them to you now.
Okay, and then. Let's see. I think we're down to, what do you think, Woodland Science Lab renovations?
Okay, so roof replacement at Highview, that project is approved by SED now. We are planning on bidding it this fall for construction summer of 2026. We feel that'll give us the best option to get the best pricing available for next summer. So we'll coordinate with Savin and district and set those bid dates for the fall. Same thing with the roof replacement at Alec Jackson as well. The Woodland Science Lab renovation. So we are in design on that. The letter of intent has been submitted to the State Education Department. The timeline we're looking at is we're in pre-design now and have been up at the building looking at field conditions, field measuring, things like that. We then have to get into design development, and we're going to start meeting with the science chairperson and the science personnel so that we can start developing the background drawings and what they'd like to see in their science rooms. We're anticipating anywhere between 2 and 4 meetings typically, where we come back to them, show them what we're thinking. They say, okay, this is good, but we'd like to modify this, change that out. And so we go back and forth until they sign off on the plans and are happy with everything. Then once that happens, then we start to go into construction documents and SED paperwork. And so we're anticipating sending it to the state by the end of May. And then SED review, we've allocated 16 to 20 weeks. It's actually come down a little bit according to the SED website. So hopefully that's true. But then we would bid it and award it probably late this year, early next year. And then we'd order the science casework right away. And the reason is because it's a long lead time on that. In fact, if we order it after April, we're going to miss the summer. So we need to make sure that we get those bids out and awarded in time, get the shop drawings approved and signed off on so that we can award it and fabrication for the summer of 2026.
Steve?
Yeah, I just wanted to throw in whether the designers and or the science personnel have visited other schools to see exactly what's going on in their labs and things that could be progressed on and looked at for the future. And I'm sure there's some people who can help out with that. I mean, I would just hope that we're just not going on, speculation and really taking a look at some of the schools in Westchester have some fabulous classrooms. So, I'm just hoping that there at least some people can go visit some of these schools and see their quality, so we know exactly what we're giving, and hopefully give the kids of Greenburgh the best we can.
We would absolutely encourage that. The other thing that we'll do is we've done hundreds of science rooms, so we're going to bring photos of many of them so that they can see different things that we have done in our projects in the past, get different ideas, and let us know what they like best about the projects and what they want for their design of their science rooms.
Mr. Siva, I think that's great, but in addition to photos, I really hope that, as Mr. Morton says, there can be some, because I don't know anything about what needs to be in the science lab, and, really tapping into the people that are going to use those science labs and what other labs have access to, not just the pictures, but the actual items that are available for the students in the labs.
Yes, we did have some discussions with the science team, reaching out to their colleagues in the surrounding districts that are top-notch technology-wise, and some of the colleagues that they have. There was some discussion with that with the science personnel.
Okay, cool.
And we did have a walkthrough recently in which we looked at the science labs. We brought some people from the outside, and I think the thing that struck me most was they talked about vacuum. That wasn't a thing when I was in high school science labs, but apparently you'd have a spigots the way you have gas spigots or water, it's for everybody. You have the ability to suck on things, right? So that was a possibility I've heard. Anything else stand out? Okay. So yes, we should do that. I don't know how expensive. I assume there's a large pump that's centrally located in each classroom that distributes the ability to vacuum. And I don't know how much those things cost. Do you have any idea?
So it would be a vacuum pump that would probably either be by floor or by one side of the hallway, other side of the hallway. And then we would be piping around to each of the science rooms that way. We want to keep the noise isolated, probably in a prep room somewhere, just so that it's not disturbing to the educational process. So, and then we would just pipe it around and then run it to the demonstration table as well as the student tables. And again, a lot of that haven't really worked out the details yet on exactly where they want it. Sometimes it's just the teacher's demo table. Other times they want it at each of the student tables. So we're preliminarily in discussions on that now. But yes, if that's something they're looking for, we would absolutely show that on the plans.
But that's not something you include as a standard when you've done science labs in the past?
Most schools do not request vacuum lines, so we typically don't do them, but we have. So it depends upon your science program and what your science people are looking to do with the vacuum line. So if that's something they're looking for, then it'll be designed in.
And we have 2 existing fume hoods. And well, we're already taking care of the eye wash sinks, right? And well, we'll have gas. Now let's see.
Is there any benefit to working with like college and asking them what they look for in their students to have, experience in?
There were 2 ways of going. one of the ways was to find out from a college what they want. And the other way is to look at the people who are winning and in the national science fairs and see what they have. So those were the two main avenues of attack.
Okay.
I think there was a suggestion for a particular science lab. I'll have to go back and check my notes. Okay, anybody else? Okay, so I would like to put in a plug for if there's some way that we can get this done in the summer of 2026 as opposed to at the 2027. I would like to see how much disruption that would cause. I understand you could do it, but you can't, right? We're trying not to impact the regular school year. So the question is, if you're taking the science labs out of service, if you could take them out from both out for a summer, could we do that? And complete the project in 2 years instead of 3?
We can definitely talk about that, but I think there's 10 or 12 science rooms total. And our concern was that if we hire, we're going to have a general contractor who's going to have the bulk of the work. He's going to have all of the refinishing of the rooms. He's going to have all of the casework. He's going to have to install the flooring, the ceilings, all of the painting, all of that. And then all of the follow trades, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing. Our concern was that that's a lot of work to be done over an 8 or 10 week long summer. And our fear was that we start to get towards September and the contractor is not done and is not going to be done for whatever reason until months into the school year. That obviously hampers your science curriculum program. So that's why the thought was to split it up into 2 summers. We can talk about it, but we're just concerned that we're going to bite off more than we can chew. I don't know, Sav and Francis, you have any thoughts on that?
To do 12 science classrooms in one summer is months. Is how many?
9.
9. Even to do 9 is a big task. My suggestion, and again, I'm following with Fred, is I think you'd want to split that up over 2 summers, take half of the rooms out, do those rooms, and then go back the next summer and do the same thing again. The last thing you want to do is come September and you don't have operating science classrooms. I think your parents would be up in arms if that was the case.
Okay. Thank you. All right, so that completes this report. Now we go on to smaller projects.
Did we get a commitment that we're doing half of them in the summer of 2024?
No, we did not.
Why not? I just heard him say half of Mr.
Go ahead, repeat what you said.
He said, he said do half of them one summer, right? And then half the second summer instead of doing all 9. I heard what he
Right,
said.
but the first summer is not this summer.
I know. I'm not happy about that, but I've looked at the schedule.
Yes.
And it doesn't seem like there's any way to move it.
Okay,
Is there?
that's what they said.
So we have a commitment, we'll do half of the science labs in the summer of 2026, sorry.
Okay, there, down there. Yes,
Yes?
yes,
Okay, yes? Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
okay. Okay, smaller projects, Dennis,
Okay, we have,
bring up the report.
Sure.
So that's on the agenda.
Okay.
Bottom of page 3.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
our ECP main building, the energy performance contract and the lighting has been completed. At LF Jackson, both new boilers are running. The occasional boiler lockout problems have been fixed. The air vent in the library area, we had cleaned. Partial gas pipe installation starting February recess. Should be completed by Monday when the students return. ECP lighting upgrades have been completed at Jackson. 4 new security cameras have been installed. The parking lot expansion and parent drop-off added. The cost of about $90,000. That's still been on here. Need to design and implement for a future year. Drainage was fixed by the town several years ago and should no longer be a significant concern. Highview, both new boilers are running.
Wait, don't go to Highview so fast. So speaking about that expansion, so we really need to start talking about and thinking about space and possibly, you know, it's never off the table to expand at Leaf Jackson. So I don't know if this design for implementation of a larger parking lot takes that into account as well. Kind of thinking of 2 things at once, Mr. Pugliese.
Yes.
Space.
Yes, there was some parking that we were proposing along the entrances when you first come in on the right side and then on the left side. That wouldn't affect if that was to be blacktop. That would be like a kiss and go station to alleviate the parents driving up into the towards the front of the building. If there was road work, most of that would have to be turned into blacktop anyway, where the around the back of the school would be.
So that wouldn't affect any building expansion if we need to build more classrooms?
No, not at where we were proposing, no.
Gabriella?
I have a question regarding the parking. So being that I go pick up my son every day from Jackson, I guess how far down close to, I guess, how close to the fence that is on the property line, right? As soon as you turn into the driveway, how close to that fence would it be, or it would not be?
It would be, if you're coming up on the left, you know, where the overflow parking is after the speed bump, probably about 20 or 30 feet up along the tree line, just before to where the fence would end. And then you would have like a sawhorse or a barrier set up just about where the sidewalk ends. So
I see, okay.
So that actually where the fencing area, there would be like a little turnaround area right there. So you can pull up and swing out without going into the bus area.
Okay, got it. And then one thing, I know it's been brought up before, I don't know if anything could be done, but just, I guess, reminding just is the dip that all cars have to go through. I know it's a safety because parents are still speeding in and out. It's frustrating.
The dip.
I drive, yeah, the dip by the, there's like a grill, I guess like for water drainage. I drive a bigger car, so it can handle the suspension, but other cars, I hear that metal scrape. I don't know if there's something that could be, I don't know, maybe the dip is too low. I don't know if there's any suggestions to help improve that a bit.
It's too steep. This was brought up when that happened. I was told it was gonna be taken care of, and all they did was paint it yellow. I don't know how to fix it because it's a drain there now. I don't know if you remember, David. So I'm glad someone else brought it up.
So maybe, Mr. Pugliese, could you clarify whether that's a French drain to help with drainage issues in the lot? Or why is it there? Why don't we start with that?
Yes, that is a drain there. I did reach out to the contractor because I think it is settled over the years. He said he could mill it down and possibly raise the grade up a little bit so it's not as steep to help alleviate that. We could look towards that in the spring, yeah, once the blacktop plant's open.
Would raising it up and make the drain, how would that affect the drainage?
Yeah, the grade on the drain we would raise up. The pipe would stay where it is, you know, that's pretty much fixed, but there is some play in the grate. You could drop that up, bring that up a little bit and mill the blacktop around the grate, so it's not as steep of a dip.
So,
Does
Oh,
this dip
go ahead.
currently serve to slow down the traffic?
Yes,
It's also a speed bump.
Okay, so on one hand, we're saying folks are driving too fast, and on the
No.
other hand, we're saying let's make it easier for them to drive faster.
No. Let me be clear. This is not a speed bump. Thank you. It's a.
I know it's not a speed bump, but they're
It's an
serving to slow down traffic, isn't it?
Well, that's not why it was done. It was done because they didn't want to do it the right way. It actually is like if you were to imagine an extra large pothole. So a speed bump, which would rise out of the ground, does make you slow down, but this instead will, and it has when I used to go to Jackson, when my kids were there, it scrapes the back and bottom of your car, which is why Ms. Barahona just said she has a larger car. It actually bumps and scrapes your car, which is why I complained about it when it first was done that way.
So if cars go slower, they would not be able to avoid scraping?
If your car is large enough, it would not.
You
no.
can go through at 3 miles an hour and you will still bottom out if you've got a low.
A large enough car, the lower end of the back of your car.
So it sounds like you might want a speed bump once you've gotten the drain fixed. Okay, speed bump, question mark? Oh, go ahead.
Can I just add something to that?
Mhm.
Can you hear me? Okay. I definitely think a speed bump could be good, and it would be great if the grill is raised. When I drive, one of my cars is a sedan, and it's definitely a problem. But I would say the speed bump, if it can be closer to the actual school, because that dip is really far away from where most of the kids usually are.
Right,
No,
you're not gonna
people
raise
go
the
over
rack
that
because it
and
will
then
just scrape
Then
the
they gain.
chassis.
But that's at the gate, that's down at the bottom of the gate. What she's saying is after you hit that bump, Ms. Lazari, you're saying people then start their speeding after that.
Yes, I'm saying that, yeah, the part closer to the school is actually a little more dangerous. So if you are going to add a speed bump, I would add it a little closer to the actual school.
Staggered pickup time versus the bus time.
So going back to the original idea of having the small parking area and the drop-off area for the kids and separated it from the bus area. If you increase the amount of paved area, then you have to do a more involved secret process. Is it a secret type 1?
I think that would be a type 2. I don't think there's any environmental impact associated with that work.
Okay, so I don't have to worry about the amount of impervious surface impacting somebody's drainage area. If I make the parking lot bigger. There's an amount, the answer is yes, if the scale is large enough. I don't know what the scale has to be before that's considered to be an impact. So I'm thinking that there's a lot of paved area outside of Leaf Jackson that we don't need. But we could carve out what we do need and then, get rid of some of the some of the paved area that's there and make up for it. But maybe I don't have to worry about that trade-off because the scale's not big enough. Gabriella, you have a question?
No, I just wanted to say, Sarah, that's exactly what I had on my mind, that the bump should be further up the parking spots, because that is where the speeding really happens.
Okay. All right. You have a question?
Maybe it's a comment. I'm just saying, again, just me, I don't know that this is something we're ready to move forward on right now, so.
We haven't got Juniper Hill in.
Even so, I don't know this is something we need to move forward on right now. We're talking $90,000 to $100,000. I think we have other pressing needs, and I just think this could be paused right now.
I'm gonna agree with you.
I'm gonna say right now.
On hold pending board approval. There it is, in
And
the agenda.
this is any additional paving, this is not referring to the dip or the bump or any of that stuff.
Okay. Highview, go ahead.
Highview, both new boilers are running. Occasional boiler lockout has been fixed. Window walls in third grade construction are pending. We talked about that with the BBS report. Gas pipe trenching has been complete. The gas out on the street on Harvard Road is to be hooked up during this recess. RJ Bailey, new interior camera installation has been completed.
I'm sorry, Mr. Pugliese, before you go to RJ Bailey, I just want to say the third grade window walls. That precedes you, I'm sure, Mr. Pugliese, because I'm gonna guess that that happened, what year, Trustee Warner? That was requested 2019? You weren't, I don't think you were on the board.
It started moving forward when I was on.
2019, so we're gonna, I think you should start putting dates on these things of first initial, because I mean, I'm telling you, the vestibule at Woodlands Middle High School will blow people away in that amount of years, right? So the third grade window wall, we can't move it any faster. I see here what you have, as an issue. I can't affect that, but I just think, seeing certain things in the amount of year drag out that these things are taking, it's unbelievable. I don't think people will believe it.
So we need to advertise that?
I think the committee needs to pay attention to it, yeah.
Oh, I think the committee is paying attention.
Well, everyone on the committee doesn't know, it wasn't here in 2019, and it precedes Mr. Pugliese, so that's why I'm bringing it up. But okay, we'll move on, sorry.
Okay.
RJ Bailey, the new interior camera installation has been completed. Exterior camera installation is waiting on the weather to be more cooperative. The new gym wall pads have been ordered and they're being fabricated, and I do have an update that we're going to be scheduling installation.
And when is that?
That has to be determined, but I'm told that the wall pads are getting ready for delivery.
Delivery in March?
Oh, I've heard this from Mr. McCoy, but they haven't reached out with us with a date yet. I heard a tentative date of the 25th and 6th of February,
Okay.
but I haven't had the conversation with them yet.
Good. Go ahead.
Woodlands,
I'm sorry, before you move to Woodlands, there was a gas leak outside the building.
Yes.
The board wasn't informed of that.
Dennis, tell us.
That wasn't outside of Woodlands, that was outside of Bailey.
Board wasn't informed of that. We own Bailey too.
I believe Dr. Iverson sent an email.
No, ma'am.
You'll have to speak with Dr. Iverson.
Okay, I got a phone call from a community member, and I don't know if it was you, I was on the phone with a board member, and I was like, oh, I gotta go down there, because I didn't hear anything. But I did get a phone call that day from a community, that was a Saturday, right? Community member, there were, like, Con Ed was out there, but I was on hold. And I didn't get a chance to, I was out doing errands, and I was like, oh, I'll drive by and see before I call the superintendent, and I just never got a chance to. Cause sometimes I get calls and things aren't real, so I don't wanna bother her. So I was nearby there. I said, oh, I'll drive by, and then I didn't get to drive by. So that's what happened. I didn't get to follow up.
I wasn't informed by a community member, and this is not the first I've heard of it. So somehow.
You got it.
Somehow I got it.
But I didn't get it.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay. Also there was an email from a trustee about the speed bump at Bailey. Did you get that?
No.
yes.
Okay. Oh, somebody else got it?
I did see that. That was from the when the guys plow, some of the speed bumps occasionally break. We lost a piece of that one, and that'll be repaired in the spring when the blacktop plants open again.
Like the one.
That one I didn't get.
Like the one here.
Okay.
Thank you. So it's gonna be repaired or something, or?
Yes, the last speed bump did, same thing that happened at Woodlands,
Yeah.
last winter. We, repaired it.
One this year too.
Yep. So the gas line leak at Bailey was repaired on, February 8th, on Saturday.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yep.
Woodlands?
Woodlands, we talked about the BBS report on the vestibule. The gas pipe, installation is complete inside and around the building after the meters. The gas line to meters to be installed, once LF Jackson is complete. And the EPC, lighting, has been completed at Woodlands.
You know, I was driving around campus at night, maybe yesterday, I don't know, and it's so nice to see it lit up, safe for our kids in these dark winter nights, safe for our drivers. Thank you to everybody involved. It's just, nice to see. I mean, we've done a lot, and a lot of it isn't very visible. So the things that are visible are very visible. So thank you.
Okay.
Sorry.
The intersection of the delivery driveway and Wise Away remains, out. We started the trench work and we're waiting for, on the weather to be more favorable. Item 4, if you want to bring that up a little bit so they can see that, Luke?
Yeah, sure, hold
Yeah. Okay. Item 4, spread on the football field driveway to fill the potholes. Paving costs in excess of $200,000. Recommend to defer until EPC solar panel installation is completed. EPC will make some repairs to offset damage caused by their vehicles. Trench work for the electric lines parallel to the driveway has been completed.
Does that mean that the scoreboard is gonna work accurately and stuff?
It better. They marked out everything and they didn't hit anything that we know about. And the power is still on in the press box.
Wonderful, thank you.
Let's see, installed frame for solar panel carports and foundation work for battery energy storage system and the best in the football field parking lot. Groundwater from abandoned Verizon fiber optic installation pumps clear. Needs drainage pipe ASAP. We did have a company out there to try to clean the manhole and find out the cause of the problem.
Mr. Pugliese, is this can you just confirm the location of where this is? Is this at the back entrance?
Yes.
This is by the Pinewood Gate entrance.
Gotcha, okay.
Then we also had the water main leak by the gym parking lot, discovered in January 22nd and repaired on January 26th. And we have some pictures for you, Mr. Warner has that we can look at afterwards. And the mansion, most attic windows were replaced with phase 1 funds. One broken window remains at the old pool entrance, was caused by settling of the foundation. Completed interior renovations with excess project funding, wallboard, wood framing, tile roof removal, windows and lighting. Obtaining quotes for restoring the plaque commemorating the first performance of the American Ballet Theater in honor of its 100th anniversary in 2034. I do have some quotes, but it's difficult to have that done. I'm still trying to get the 3 prices because of the $6.99 limit for vendors. And it's not a big niche for people that restore plaques.
Question.
Yeah.
Did you say you had gotten one quote already?
I've reached out to about 8 different vendors, but I have one real quote.
And how much is that?
It was about $1,500.
1,500, thank you.
The preliminary quote, because of, until they see the plaque, they feel the weight of it, and we actually.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
David.
Don't reveal your quote online.
Yeah, don't, let's live streaming this.
It's not live.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. We're live.
No, we're not.
We're live.
How are we live?
Question.
What?
Talent show. We're hiding on the talent show right now, that's fine.
Let's move on to the.
Yeah.
I'll figure that
You
out.
guys are telling me. Okay, Mr. Morton has his hand up.
Stephen Morton.
Yeah, I have a question. We don't have anything on the agenda here, but a lot of people are wondering what's going on with the Woodlands Auditorium and the money that was allocated to get the audio and the video and everything done, and even the stage and the electrical. What's the status on that?
We have been meeting with different contractors to get different opinions on what they feel should be done. And we're just waiting for one to come in, and then we will try to decipher those and figure out what's the best use of our money to get the biggest bang for our buck. So we are in the process. We've been meeting with contractors.
I mean, have you seen a bunch of contracts? I mean, it's been almost a year now since, we talked about having it done. It just seems like it's dragging.
Yeah, we have seen several contractors in the last couple of months, and we're receiving quotes from them, yes.
Okay.
And I was wrong, we are live.
Yes, we are.
Two live
Two live.
things at the same time.
Great. Okay, yes.
We talk often about the need for a retaining wall at the mansion. I don't know if we ever got information on how much, an estimate on how much that would be. I'm not trying to say we need to do a project now, but do we have any ballpark information on that?
I think it's in the building conditions survey and we can look it up.
Okay, that, right, that.
Yes,
we
it's
have.
5 years old.
I didn't know if there was anything more, okay, thank you.
No, just because it says it in here, we need a retaining wall. So
Old quote.
You know, we had an old staff member that was the interim athletic director. I can't remember his name, but he had a company that did plaques. Did we ask him, or it has to be someone that submits through BidNet?
No, we can get quotes. We can get quotes from anybody out there.
I can't remember.
We just have to stay within the procurement policy guidelines.
I can't remember his name, but like that was his company and he was retired. Do you remember the guy? He was a retired athletic or retired administrator, and he came and did athletic thing for like a year and a half here. Okay. I don't know if okay.
All right, so there was one item left for the bus garage.
Let's see, we looked at the mansion. Luke, if you want to scroll up, the teacher center, the energy performance lighting has been completed. And the bus garage, the energy performance lighting's been completed.
And then we have the ongoing business.
We have the ongoing electric vehicle, consider repaving an electric vehicle charging station at the transportation also.
Didn't you go to a legislative forum? And was that mentioned as a topic?
The
Electric vehicles, yeah.
David, I am working on little sleep.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yes. But right now, my brain is
We'll
mush.
talk about it
Yeah,
next
I
time.
apologize.
All right, it's not going away.
No, it's not going.
We did receive something for correspondence from NYSERDA, and we are reaching out to them for any information that they can give us.
Yeah, and I know I think your ASBO group, Ms. Raymond, was also, oh gosh, never mind, my brain is mush, I apologize.
No, it is a big topic with the ASBO.
Yeah, Mr. Gunn and myself did reach out to a NYSER. And we have not heard back yet. We've both called.
That contact that I gave you guys to call?
Yes, yes.
All right, so at this point, we should go to the pictures, do a little picture walk. Just go in the directory and we'll
This one?
yeah, sure. Just work your way through.
Hold on. Hold on a second. Do you know what this picture is?
I know what this picture is. This is the football field. And there's a little dot there where the battery, approximately where the battery energy storage system has been constructed. And so if you, there's a side path where people access the track and maybe kids walk to school. And if you take that path through, you can find your way into the garden apartments that are next to High Point. And there's a fire hydrant at the front of the building. And it's 542 feet from the battery energy storage system, as opposed to the next picture, which is we have an area, I believe, that we keep open an area to the trees there in order that the press box, that the fire hydrants are near the press box up there towards the top of the screen. And so it is 938 feet. So it's actually further to string a fire hose from Rex Ridge to the battery energy storage system than it is to go back to the other apartment complex. Although the trail is a little rougher, so you might want to think about whether you want to even that out or not.
Did you get this from, sorry, where'd you get is this your drawing?
I just did it. I just pulled up Google Maps and
Yeah.
located the fire hydrant.
I'd be interested when we have perhaps the district-wide emergency committee meeting.
Yeah.
To show this to the fire chief who attends.
And see what they say.
Yeah.
Because there's also High Point has a fire hydrant just about equidistant, but there's a 8-foot hurricane fence in the way, so.
Right.
Okay, sure. And it's not there we go. Okay, yes.
Okay, this is the RJ Bailey, this is after the leak has been repaired outside, after the work was done. Next slide, Luke. This is the previous, the fittings that they had found that were compromised. This is outside of the building. They put a temporary, you see the red tape on there, that was temporary to help stop the leak. This is another picture of the work after it was completed.
Why isn't this covered in some way with like shed type material or something? Is it?
It's typically, you don't cover gas pipe.
No?
It comes out of the ground and it's warm and it flows. It doesn't really freeze. It's a big gas.
I'm just thinking, just the location of it, it looks like it's next to the steps that the kids go in, but maybe I'm on the side.
It's on the side, other side of the building.
On the side where
You're looking at the.
you drive in.
Okay.
And this is another picture of after the work was completed. This is pictures of the water main repair at Woodlands High School.
Parking lot next to the gym.
This is the excavation as it's in progress. It's a piece of broken water main pipe.
That was the first leak.
More pictures of the excavation and the repair. Here's a piece of a repair for the first repair that was made.
These pictures, David?
Half of these pictures are taken by me and half by Dennis.
Thank you,
Yep.
guys.
And then this picture here was afterwards. You can see the original section, and then they found another leak, so they repaired another full length.
I think that's all the photos.
And that's it.
Thank you so much
Okay,
to Mr. Police and Trustee Warner for getting these photos and letting us know what happened.
and And, well, almost last, Science Lab aid. So, I believe. Okay, request for equipment.
So what's next, Dave?
Okay, let's get to the end. Facilities, okay. Especially requesting financial support. Okay, good. All right. I think the next thing to do is to send more letters. Hey, Lisa, would you be willing to send another letter based off of this list?
Yes, sure, I can send them.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Ms. Raymond.
You're welcome.
Yes?
Let's amplify that a little. If there are any community
members
with connections to these companies or any company that does grant work or has a foundation that we could apply to and can help facilitate the connection or the communication of our needs or our program, please reach out to either Ms. Raymond at lraymond@greenburghcsd.org or through the committee chair D. Warner at greenburghcsd.org. And maybe that will help put these letters on the top of someone's pile and put a face to the words. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. And housekeeping, let's look at the minutes for last time's meeting. And if you've got a hard packet, it's the second document. Okay. Looking carefully at the list, see if anybody's name is misspelled, because that's the most likely problem. Valen, Chris Valen?
Valen, I-N.
I-N, okay.
See, that's how tired I am. I usually catch misspellings of everyone else's name. I didn't even catch my name.
Okay, so that's a definite change. Just scroll in a leisurely fashion through, and if anything jumps out at you, so a lot of this is taken from the agenda, and then the report from VBS is cut and paste into here. And yeah.
Megan may have an H in her name, I'm not sure.
Okay.
She does.
Is that half?
Yeah.
Okay, let me check. MEGHANHAK.
Okay.
So I move that we approve the minutes as amended.
You second the motion?
It's not
What,
recommended.
actually, there's not another board member here, so it's okay.
Wonderful, second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, we have minutes as amended. Okay, and we are. Okay, other concerns? Hey, Chris.
Hey, there was talk for a little while. I don't know if it's in process, in progress, or if it's on hold, or where we are on electronic signage on the campus. Can I just know where we are on that? If we're moving forward, if we're waiting to discuss anything as a board?
Nope, we have everything. We just we have everything for the one for the high school. We just need to meet with Mr. Smith one final time on the board. Mr. Pugliese has been working on getting the electric to that board. And Dennis, I'll let you finish this off with what you have done with the town of Greenburgh and the electric company for Highview.
Yes,
Sorry, and Woodlands, where is this gonna go exactly?
It's going to replace the sign that is out there now.
So in the campus, not on the outside, in the campus,
Correct,
across from the bus garage.
correct.
Okay.
okay, I did meet with, the building department for Greenburgh. He was gonna look into his office, because you do need a sign permit, but we do have an existing sign there. He said that shouldn't be an issue. He said that I have to, reach out to my electrician and file for an additional meter, on the pole, and, he would have to install the disconnect for the electric there rather than run power from the existing building.
Can we do solar power on that, on signs?
I don't believe that that's feasible with the model that we're looking at. I don't know if it's,
How much is,
feasible or not.
how much is this gonna cost? I feel like it came up a really long time ago, so forgive me.
Yeah.
How much is it costing, anyone?
Dennis, do you have that cost with you?
I believe it was, about 30,000.
Per sign?
Yes.
Yes, for the LED sign.
How much did you say?
I believe it was, 30,000 for the purchase order, that we had.
Did we vote to approve that?
Did we what?
Vote, I don't remember voting to approve that.
They included in the budget.
I was one of the.
It was included in the budget last year,
And
and it's part of the strategic plan.
But I know, but
The number I believe was, 27,000 something.
that's a lot.
So
Okay, I'm sorry.
I was one of the few no's, so not that we discussed work, we just made a decision. So I just wanna, can you refresh my memory? Okay, it sounds like instead of running an electric line from the Highview building to the street, you're able to connect to the pole. It's much closer. That alleviates a great deal of my initial concerns. You guys say these are LED signs, so it's not going to add an undue amount of electric costs. I'm so sorry, a great deal of cost to our electric bill. But do we have any idea of what it might add, even though they're LED signs? Once, because if this rounding to 30,000 sign is the one-off fee for the materials, right? I'm just wondering.
We could reach out to the company, Dennis, and see if they have, they may know.
Yeah, I believe the cost of the meter that you pay for the cost of the meter every month will probably be more than the electric, to be honest with you.
So can we get that information in the packet before anything else moves forward on the Highview sign, please?
The Highview sign is not even near being organized.
Right, I know, but then sometimes things move forward and we don't know until they've already moved forward. I'm just asking, conversations can happen if we can just get that information. I know it's in the strategic plan. It's an easy thing to tick, but I'm continue to question priorities.
Okay. Gabriella. I can't hear you. You're muted.
Sorry, I thought I unmuted. I just wanted, I hope I'm not too long. I know everyone is tired and, wants to rest. I just wanted to bring something to the committee's attention. I did speak to some of you about this. So last Friday, my oldest fifth grader at RJB, he had an accident while he was walking up the stairs. He tripped and hit the top left of his forehead on the edge of one of the steps. Ms. Khan called me immediately. I took him to the hospital. And while it was quite scary for all of us, we are thankful that there wasn't any internal injury to his head. That was really I think everyone's concern. However, he did need 3 stitches. I do want to thank the RJB teachers and staff and Ms. Rossi. We are very appreciative of their concern and their support. They're absolutely wonderful. So I spoke to Miss Rossi. She was out last week. I understand she was pretty sick. So we spoke, since it's our really first and hopefully, fingers crossed, only injury during the school day. We wanted to understand what the protocols are with situations such as these. I asked about camera footage, and she explained that she doesn't have access to the cameras in the stairwell where the accident occurred. This conversation was early in the week. I don't know if anything's changed, but she did say she's made a couple of requests for access. And the second item we talked about is some kind of rubber stair treads being installed in RJB. That was something that popped into my head after what happened. Woodlands definitely has them. Not sure when they were put in. I think LFJ has them as well in that staircase that's by the gym. But my thoughts are that since RJB students are switching classes and there's frequent use of the stairs throughout the day, and as we know, they are carrying quite a few items, their lunchboxes, Chromebooks, I think the stairs, or I believe the stairs, should have some kind of material on them to prevent or minimize slips or falls. Highview definitely needs them as well. I don't think they have any from what I remember. I could be wrong. I understand in being on this committee, we have budget constraints and the buildings have a long list of items that they need. We voted and prioritized on things, but I believe it's important that the treads be added to the stairs at both RJ Bailey and Highview. I would hate for another student or adult to be hurt at either building.
As far as the cameras are concerned, Bailey just got new cameras. There was only one floor that had cameras, and that's why we're putting cameras on all the floors now. So I don't know exactly where.
I'm sorry, we can't discuss, it's like you two, it's not my meeting, I'm not the president. So there are some things that we can't discuss in public session.
Okay, so in executive private session, we got Ms. Raymond, we got Mr. Pugliese there. They'll look at the camera placements, right, for Bailey, make sure everything's covered. But I think the bigger issue that's probably not too expensive, but we'll have to ask Ms. Raymond and Mr. Pugliese, are the treads on the stairs. Ms. Barahona made great points about kids carrying a lot of items, but additionally, we have children switching classes every subject at Bailey, which is much like a middle school model. Throughout the day, these kids are up and down the stairs, in and out of the hallways. So is there approximate quotes for rubber treads on those steps?
I did reach out to just do some math of some of the treads that we've replaced at Woodlands. It comes out to a certain amount per linear feet, and it's just for the materials alone. I was figuring 13,500 for just Bailey stairs. That's without any real glue and installation.
So that's for every stair, both of those big on the side and the middle staircases.
For the all this, there's several staircases.
Yeah.
I didn't look into maybe some adhesive strips that might be a better option. You have the adhesive strips with the abrasive strip edges.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, just can you guys put something together and let us know? Pricing, I think, is the first step anyway, right?
Sure.
Ms. Raymond was saying something.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Can you unmute her? Okay. Was Ms. Raymond saying something? I'm sorry, I don't want to speak for you. I thought you were saying something.
No, I'm fine. I wasn't.
Oh, okay.
Right. We I've got to be careful about broadcasting the location of our campus. Okay. All right. Fair enough. We'll look into that. Are there other concerns? Hearing none, do I hear a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I do have a concern about, it is safety committee and it will go into exec, so I'll just bring it up so Mr. Pugliese knows it's on my radar. Is the vape detectors at Woodlands Middle High School. and the time delay, vape detectors and alerts and all of that. Huh? Yeah, it keeps coming up.
Issue. Okay. And it's safety committee, right? Okay,
Thank you.
anything else?
Yeah, but I'll ask it exactly. The meeting.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Come on, second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Good night.
Everybody, have a good night.
Good night.